Trinity Tangent folk here. We have Rosemary and we have Anya. And Anya Phelan, we've been interviewing before, and she's going to tell us all about the Tangent Innovation and Enterprise Development Postgraduate Program, which is coming up. And we have our special guest here, Rosemary, who is the program manager. So, first of all, welcome, ladies. Thank you so much for doing this. We've gone live into Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook. We're all over the place today. So hopefully people will tune in and let us know what they think. But first of all, Anya, tell us a little bit about this postgraduate program. And one of the title of this was Never Went to College, Keen to Upskill. Join us. And I'm like, well, I never went to college. So can you tell me about this?
Yeah, no, it's a really, really exciting program, and it's run by Tangent, which is Trinity's Ideas Workspace. And Trinity is the #1 university in Ireland. And we are now in a place with Tangent in Trinity to offer Springboard funded programs, which are free for eligible participants, but open to everybody to apply. So we are the centre for creativity, innovation and entrepreneurism in Trinity. So we work not only across the kind of college, the 18 schools in the college, but we work with companies, we work with individuals, and we work with people like ourselves who are keen to upskill in their career.
Brilliant. So if you had a business idea, let's say, or you'd already started a business, or you're probably thinking about doing a business, this might be the right course for you.
It might be, and Rosemary is the expert on the program details. So I'll hand you over to Rosemary now.
Brilliant. Rosemary, tell us a little bit about this. It sounds really exciting, and I didn't even know Trinity did this. So tell us more.
Yes, no, delighted to tell you more, and thanks, Anya, there for the introduction. Yes, so I guess two of the most commonly asked questions we get is, what is the course? What is it about? And we can go into that and more about the content and who is it for? And that's a lovely question, because actually we say it's for everybody and anybody. So if anyone's listening today and thinking, is this course for you? The answer is probably yes. So I guess like the aim of the course, the very broad overall aim of the course is to spark something in people, be it like a new idea, like a fresh perspective in any area of, like, regardless of their age or stage or industry. If they're trying to upskill, pivot, or start their own business, or actually a lot of the learning that people will take from the course can be applied to any aspect of life. It doesn't have to be in career or business. We have people applying it to their personal lives as well. So it's
really? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So we had a student on, for example, last night in an open evening who was telling us just about the impact of the course and how he's applying some of the theories and the design thinking methodologies, without getting too specific on the content, but how he applies them to problem solving, in everyday life, as well as his business. And he was talking about the changes it has made to his business as well. So I guess, we want people to take away something from the course that will spark something new. Just delve maybe a little bit into the content students will cover, and we can go, deeper into it, but students will cover innovation and creativity. Before then we go on to the nuts and bolts of maybe how you would apply that to a business idea and then how you would scale your business. So that first piece of the course, that first module, it just underpins everything we do in terms of trying to get a creative and innovative mindset within the group. And I'm happy to talk more about that. Just to pick up on something that Anya said, I guess it's important. It is a level 9. So for those who are not familiar with the National Framework of Qualifications, take a quick look at it, nfq.ie. But obviously every course is placed on a framework. So level 9 is actually a master's level program. So it's postgraduate. So it's normally what students will do after they do a degree. So most people who will come to us will have a degree, and then this is a postgraduate qualification. So it's quite high up. Like the only one higher would be level 9, which is a doctorate. So it's a high level qualification. Having said that, we have people from, as I said, from all walks, stages of both their academic career and their industry career joining us. And for people who don't have a level 8 degree coming to us, they can still join the program. It's very practical. It's very hands-on. A lot of experiential learning. So we have huge success on the program, but just important to say that it is a Trinity recognised. They will be getting a postgraduate qualification from Trinity College.
Wow, that's kind of cool, isn't it? So for someone like me who never went to college, I did my leaving cert, and then I think I level 6. So for someone like me that doesn't have an 8 or whatever, does like
Yeah, we would.
what's the process?
What's the process?
Yeah, what's the process?
Sure. So we welcome people like you all the time onto the program. So like very happy to get applications like that. And actually it leads to a much more, rich and diverse student base, which lends to the whole peer-to-peer learning within the group. So I might be controversial in saying we don't just want everybody with a 11/8 degree because, like the mix of participants, we just see the learning within the group adds so much to the final outcome for the students. So it's the very same application process for you, and I can go through that now, or we can come to it later in what students need to do to apply. The only difference is, I guess, we assess applicants who don't have that degree under what we call an RPL process, which is recognition of prior learning. So actually, in a way, it's a little bit more of a comprehensive process. So we would look at your application and we assess everything you've done, because while you may not have done a level 8 degree, I'm sure you have an abundance of life and work experience that would add to, and we'd even be able to map across to some of the outcomes that you would have got, let's say, if you had gone down the formal education route. So we assess applications that way, and we offer places under that RPL, recognition of prior learning policy. So I would say to anybody who's listening, who's thinking of applying and don't have a formal qualification, please do so. We'd be delighted to get those applications.
And even though I'm not too old, am I? I'm 50.
So we have everybody. We've had I think the oldest. I hope I'm not being ageist. I think the oldest student we had was 74.
Wow.
So so we have everybody from not so many recent graduates, but maybe people starting off in their career. So we have everybody from then, as from there right up to, I think he was 74 when he finished. He was a star student.
I think I want, because obviously he really wanted to learn if he was there. I think my mother might be interested, all right, she'd be similar. But the funny thing is, I heard, is this true? I heard that you get the gown and the whole ceremony and everything if you qualify.
You absolutely do. You will be a graduate once you successfully complete the program, which most people do. You will be a graduate of Trinity College, and we do a graduation, and you get the gown and you get the day out. Unfortunately, the last couple of years they've been online, like everything else in our lives. So yes, but we're hoping to move back in January, where students will be in the building. So yes, you get a formal graduation and a formal parchment. So you're a graduate of Trinity for the rest of your life.
And do you know what I love about this? The fact that you're coming to Wexford. You're going to be doing these in Wexford, Athlone and Dublin. So do you want to tell me a little bit about that? And I believe this is a recent enough thing. I'm not sure, but do you want to tell us more about why you're doing that?
Sure. So I guess one of the aims is that we're trying to bring, the Trinity College experience to bring the education regionally. We've run it before in different regions, not in these two specific, not in Wexford and Athlone. Last year, the plan was to run it in these two regions, and COVID hit, so it went online. So while a lot of the content was tailored specifically for those regions, if you like. So when we're working, one of the things we do is we work with host companies and try and solve real world problems on the ground that companies come to us with. So while, sorry, my doorbell's just gone there.
Go ahead, and I'll take over.
It's okay, I've left it open. No, I think they can make their way in. Sorry, there's the
the joys.
The joys of working from home this long on.
But I might have a kitten and a child here. Don't worry.
The dog will probably start to bark now in a moment, so I am sorry. But what was I going to say? So we work with host companies on the ground. So I guess a lot of what we tried to do last year, while we had to go online, so we lost a bit of that regionality, if you like, as in students on the ground in a class in a particular region. What we tried to do was tailor the content, those particular regions. So we got local companies, to work with in the regions. So I suppose back in answer to your question, yes, this is the first time we will be running in these two locations specifically on the ground, yes.
And I know Athlone, it's fantastic that you're home to Wexford, because I'm in Wexford. I know it's in Gorey. I know there's different locations, but for people wanting to know, like how many times in a week do you have to go? Is it every week, or is it? And then also homework, like how much, that these are the kind of things I'd be thinking about. Will I have time to do homework and stuff or exams? So yeah, could you fill us in on that part?
Sure, and it's a really good question. And again, it's a question we get asked all the time, because people want to know what they're getting into before they start. So, in answer to your question, the program runs, it's both a mixture of in person and online. So, module one, which if people aren't familiar with modules, it's subject one, like we do
Yeah.
3 different subjects, 3 different modules. So, module one is in person, that's innovation and creativity. And there's a reason for that, I guess, in that, I suppose that's the pulling the part of all our ideas and all the kind of innovation and creativity happens in the class. We like to get people out of their comfort zones at that stage, and all sorts of ideas and that emerge. So that's run in class. It's run Friday afternoons and all day Saturdays. So there will be a requirement for people whatever region they're in, either Dublin, Wexford or Athlone, to be on site in a class, for that first module, and that lasts 6 weeks. And I can pop into the chat just a link to the timetable, which will probably help people. And then modules 2 and 3 are actually online. So again,
okay,
yeah,
right.
So people can go online, for the next 2. Can I jump off camera for 1 second?
Go ahead. I heard.
I'll take it up there. I'll take
Anya.
Just 1 second.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
You're all right. Yeah. Go ahead.
So,
I'll just take you off screen there while she's gone. Okay, go ahead, Anya. Yeah.
So in Wexford, we'll be in the Amber Springs Hotel, and that's where that 6-week piece will be. And in Athlone, we'll be in the Innovation Hub in Athlone for 6 weeks. And then outside of that, it will be online. So
brilliant.
Yeah.
And what about exams? You mentioned
everything we do. I mean, this is what I find really exciting about the program, Sam. Everything we do is experiential. So there are actually no exams in the program. It's Will I pass over to you now, Rosemary? I was just taking up flight there.
I'm so sorry. We're talking about the exams, are we?
Yeah, are there exams? Like do I have to put time aside to study for exams?
Yeah, and it's a great question. And there are no exams. And normally we hear a collective sigh of relief then from the students. But so there's absolutely no exams throughout the program. It doesn't mean though it's all, good fun. There's a lot of hard work involved, but it's all continuous assessment. So kind of from day one, we lay out what needs to happen when. So there's a number of different assignments throughout them for every module. So it's a mixture of project work, there's presentation work. A key part of the program is reflective writing. So what we do is we get the students to reflect on what they've learning, and they actually submit that as a little reflective journal. And that's difficult for people who are not used to doing that. And I'll hold up my hand and say it's something I hadn't been used to. Yeah. It's a little bit like meditation or whatever. If you're not used to doing it, it can take a while to get your head into it. But that actually forms part of the assessment. There's group work involved as well. So you will be put with a group. The student who was talking to us last night was saying how much he got out of the group work. And while we all acknowledge it's difficult to work with a group that you haven't met before, and you have to form those bonds and relationships, a bit like in the real world, I guess.
Well, yeah. It's skills that you're going to need if you're going to go into business in particular. Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess that's why we have it embedded, within the program, that teamwork element. But he was just saying like the diversity of backgrounds and expertise in the group, and how they complemented each other. And so group work, presentation, written work, as I said, people will be out of their comfort zone in terms of it's not a sit at the back of the class, take some notes and then do an exam at the end. It's a very different proposition. But no exams. And I guess then maybe leading on from that, and I think you touched on it earlier, there was, homework or whatever. So at certain times, I guess when a project is due, it will be much, there'll be more homework, if you like, involved, where you might be meeting your group and getting ready for your assignment. And then at other times, that will be less. So but we lay it out at the start, exactly what you need to do and when and what those deadlines are.
Okay, I think I'm totally going to sign up for this. But anyway, as if I have time. But the Athlone, for example, are you also looking for businesses as well that might be interested in getting involved?
You mean in terms of working with the companies, or in terms of giving us the students? Sorry.
Given the students projects, or were you looking for businesses to get involved as well? No?
Yeah, I mean, we're always happy to work with businesses. So one of the things we do, and one of the modules is we do go to host companies, and we look at a problem that they're having, like a real world problem. They present it to us, we give it to the students, and then, we mentor them. They meet the host company and they come back, figure out a solution and present it back. So that's one of the key things that we work. So we love getting companies involved, and if there's companies there who'd like to get involved, we'd love to talk to them. Yes.
Okay, right. So for anyone in Athlone or Wexford area, like what if the company was in Carlow, for example? Does it matter where they're based, or is that okay?
No, not specifically. I mean, for the regions, I suppose one of the nice things that we have an opportunity to do is to make it regionally specific, because obviously each region, and when we were researching where we would bring the program, we were looking at different problems, that are affecting different areas, and they can be quite varied. So while it's nice to have a company in the region, or very local, a lot of the problems that companies are facing, especially now, they cross boundaries and cross borders. So no, we'd be delighted to hear from companies who want to work with us. Yes.
Okay, someone just said big sigh of relief when they heard there was no homework. Okay, so we have a question. How do we sign up, and when does it start?
Yeah, two great questions. So I might tackle the first one first, just in terms of how do they sign up. So if students need to apply through the Springboard website, so they go on to springboard.ie, and then there's a number of different ways they can search for it. Put in the name of the course, or just put in Trinity, and they'll find the courses that we're offering. You apply through Springboard because it's a Springboard funded course, so you don't apply directly through Tangent. And then once you go on to that page in Springboard, you'll see what's needed. And the application process, it's not difficult, but there's a few different things that need to be included. And unless an applicant gets a full application in with all the documents, we're not able to assess them. And I'll just briefly highlight what they need, if people would find that helpful. They need a CV. They need a personal statement, which is just saying why you're interested in the course, what's your ambitions, what's your background. They need 2 references. So maybe from somebody that you've worked with, or somebody that an academic reference if you have it, if not, a professional reference. And again, that's just speaking to your suitability, for the course. There's a couple of other documents required then in terms of proof of eligibility. So for people who are unemployed, they won't pay any fees for the course. But Springboard do need evidence, that people are unemployed and maybe trying to return to education. So under each section, we have highlighted what documents are relevant. So the pertinent documents that you need to prove that. And then
I'm going to share screen. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm going to share screen so people can see what you're talking about. Okay.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, that's a super idea.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so really it's very simple. Sorry, you were going to mention one last thing there. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, just I guess as well as that, then there's a proof of residency, which is quite new, but it's just to prove that people have been living here, for the past number of years. So a number of bills and that are required. So again, under each section, we have detailed out what the applicants need. And in fairness, once you submit your application, we then see what you've submitted. And if it's not correct, or if we need more, we'll always go back to people, providing we have time, which I guess brings me on to the next thing of people, like it does take a while to gather that information. So the strongest advice we can give to somebody is to apply early as possible.
Yeah.
It gives us then an opportunity to be able to look at the application and go back to the applicant and say, well, actually, we're going to need something else here, or that document didn't upload properly, or we can't read it, or whatever. So if I could give one piece of advice, is the earlier people can apply, the better.
Okay, so apply today, everybody. So it's very easy. I went to the tcd.ie tangent/education/postgraduate. And then when you go to the website, what you do is you have apply now Dublin, apply now.
Yeah. Yes, that's the link you need to click, and that will take you straight.
So if I click this
Springboard.
one, it brings me straight into Springboard, folks. Okay, and then you just click apply now and fill in the form.
Yes.
All right.
Exactly.
So it's and then and also I noticed there was a chat there on the website. So there is a chat. So there's someone there to help you. Is there an age limit? Brenda asks. No, there is not an age limit. We covered that earlier. There's no age limit. She also says there's a DM. I presume she means a PM in Facebook. But yeah, that is yes, that is the process. You go into the website, which I will put up here again. And if anyone has any questions while we're still here, but this is the link. If you just go, and we will put the link to this into the comments section, whatever platform you've gone live to. So we will go and check later on, okay? And we'll put the link in there as well. But yeah, that sounds really exciting, actually, ladies. Sounds
No,
really
it
exciting.
really is. And you kind of buy into a whole network of connections, Rosemary, isn't it? That you kind of meet very like-minded people in the classes, and kind of friendships, are born, and you really do find, another dimension, if you like, that you can build on after the program. And very often we run events here in Trinity, and we invite a lot of our students to attend the events and kind of build out their networks and develop those relationships. So there are other benefits, in addition to attending the course.
And actually, Hannah has just asked, hi, Hannah, thanks for joining us. How much is the course if you're self-employed? So there are different, go ahead there, Rosemary.
Oh, and I'm possibly going to get this one wrong. So it's free to unemployed applicants, and it's in the region of 300. It may be 312. Sorry, I should know that off the top of my head. For though it's a 10% fee for those who are in employment. So it's in the region
That's
of 300
amazing.
to 12. Yes. So it really is amazing, and that covers everything right through from registration.
Yeah, but I wonder, like this is the thing. Like, have you ever experienced someone doing this course and then getting the hunger for more?
Oh, completely. Will I say myself included? So I went back and it wasn't the one in Trinity, but a very similar course in innovation and creativity. And I guess once you open that, I'm going to say Pandora's box of, creativity, I've gone on to do other courses from it, because I guess it opens up the possibility of what's there.
Yeah.
And
does it give you confidence? It might give someone confidence as well to say, hang on, I did this. Well, hang on, what else can I do?
Yeah, no, completely. So certainly for somebody, and you were talking about it at the top of the program, people who haven't been in education, maybe for a while, or haven't gone back to formal
32
education.
years, yeah.
Yeah, like as well as the learning, it gives them that confidence to say that they did it and they can complete it. And back to Anya's point, like one of the, I suppose, nearly the secondary consequences, or the unintended consequence of the course, is this network of people that you get in with. We've had people who've joined forces and set up businesses together afterwards. Like that's how successful, so somebody maybe from a marketing background and somebody had a product idea, but they weren't sure how to merge, and they formed and merged. And we've seen wonderful stories about people setting up or scaling up their own business since. And I mean, Anya can probably talk more about those. We've just got some amazing outputs from the course. But on a personal level, I guess the two immediate wins are people say it helps them on their CV. They've now got a Trinity recognised qualification at level 9, so that's a big deal. But as you said, just the confidence, I guess, to be able to maybe go for that role, leave the job, change the job, pitching is one of the things we cover. So people who are nervous about pitching for their business, or pitching to an investor, so those kind of very practical skills that they take away, that makes a difference to their everyday. Yes.
One other question is, what day does the course take place?
Yeah, so it's Fridays and Saturdays. I'm going to pop a link if I can, or can I pop a link into the
well, it won't work. You can try and put a link in there if you want.
Yeah. So just to give people then who are listening, it's Friday and Saturdays for module 1. That's the in-person piece. And then it goes to weekdays. It's Wednesdays and Thursdays for module 2 and module 3, and they're online. We also do record those as well, just for people who absolutely maybe couldn't make it overnight, but we would advise people to set aside the time, I guess, because so much of what we do is practical, in-class, experiential, that if they miss, class, they really miss a whole chunk of learning, and it can be hard then to pick up.
Isn't it amazing though, like that would be great, because, especially if you're already running a business, like if it was a Friday, Saturday, that's actually brilliant for the in-person ones. And then the other, it's manageable, isn't it? It seems quite manageable. It's very exciting. Very exciting. Anya, have you any other stories that you want to share to inspire people maybe?
Yeah, I mean, the student stories are just so incredible, Sam. And the students also have an opportunity to get involved in some of the accelerator programs we run. So we run, programs where there's additional funding. So you have your idea, or you partner with somebody like Rosemary said, but you're now in the Trinity ecosystem. So there are other, yeah, and that's a huge advantage because to help you kind of push your idea forward, there are other programs, some of them with funding, and the fact that you have done our program, it puts you in a very good position to apply for these because you have the pitching that Rosemary mentioned, you have the confidence that you mentioned yourself, Sam, and the sky becomes the limit for you. So it does give you that other kind of richness and strength to go forward into other areas and seek funding as well. So yes, and the student stories are huge and varied, and we have lots of them kind of documented on our website. But they include such really exciting things like people working in agriculture, kind of working in farming, moving into product development with kind of sausages and that kind of thing. And now they're kind of distributing them around Aldi and Lidl kind of nationally. There's stories like that, and indeed Super Value as well. They've got great segues into all of that. There are stories about people who've had personal challenges in their life that they've actually turned into a business, and they're really,
I see
really
that. Yeah. I
really
do see that,
yeah, stories, around that. There are a number of creative people. We've had quite a number of artists. We've had writers. We've had poets. We've had ceramic artists, all kind of use the program to help them kind of really polish their idea and polish their business approach so that they are, more engaging for investors, more engaging for customers. Also, when they're going to look, for listings and, in various places, they actually know how to position themselves. So the stories are hugely varied. And I think at this juncture, we have over 2,000 of them because that's the number of people we've put through these programs over the last number of years.
So how long is it? I see it seems to, I have a timetable here. So the 4th of February kicks off and it finishes on 16th of June, but that's roughly because it's subject to change, obviously, but especially with the pandemic and stuff. So would that be correct, Rosemary? So like it starts in February. So, but the closing date for people to apply, this is why we're doing this early, everybody. We're getting it out there to you now because get the applications in now because when is the closing date for this?
It's the 25th of November.
25th of November. So that's next week, folks. So somebody also asked how long is the course? So it's actually, how many weeks is that?
Yeah, it's roughly about 24 weeks, give or take. We may have breaks in there, Easter, depending on what way it falls. But it'll take them up to the early June.
That's just...
You'll be finished for the summer.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
The middle of June and ready for the summer holidays.
Yes, that's just brilliant. Well, ladies, I think thank you all for your questions. If anyone has an extra question while we're still live, please pop it in there. And you can see the link underneath. Anya has given us her time, and so has Rosemary to fill us in on this. And we've gone live to Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. So wherever you are, whichever platform you're watching us on, please do follow Tangent and do follow We'll put the link in the comments if you're on Facebook or LinkedIn. We will put them in later, but do go check it out and apply. And then, if you have any issues, there is live chat on the site as well, which I really like. And I think that's really important. So anything you want to add there, ladies?
I just say we're here to help people. We really want to, and we're the purpose of us being here today is to create awareness because, it's quite often people hear of, oh God, if I'd known about that, I'd love to have applied.
Yes.
And for us to be able to kind of to say, the only barrier is yourself. Like,
yes.
Because, yeah. And if you have the required learning, that will all be considered. So
I think if you have the passion and if you have the desire, isn't it?
Yeah. And the energy and the enthusiasm. So I'd be saying, tell all your friends about it. Don't let anybody miss the opportunity.
Look at this lovely comment now.
I just saw that.
And that's from one of your channels, by the way, that we paired with here on Restream. So as a graduate from this course, I think this is amazingly amazing. Well, do you know what, Joseph? We'll send you the check in the post after this. But that's lovely. That's lovely. And That's great. So there you
It is,
go. I think definitely anyone who's watching and you're just thinking, "Do you know what? I don't know. Just apply. And then what will happen after they apply? Will they get a notification? Do they have to do an interview or what's the process there, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no problem at all. So there's no interview apart from the RPL candidates who we talked about earlier, the recognition of prior learning. They go through just a short phone interview. And again, we're just trying to assess their suitability and eligibility for the course. For the others, let's say standard candidates or applicants who have a level 8 degree, there isn't. Once they apply, so that's a really good point. Once you apply to the course through Springboard, even if you don't have all your documents uploaded, it means that we can then see it on the system. We can
Yes.
get in contact and we can give you a hand. If you don't apply, obviously we don't know that you're even thinking about it. Do you know what I mean? So we do get candidates on once the closing date has passed and said, oh, I didn't get my application in, I was collecting all the documents, and then it's too late. So the advice I would give to people is if you have some documents, if you're thinking of doing the course at all, go onto the system. You can apply without having everything uploaded and you can keep adding to it. But it just means we can keep in contact with you. And as Anya said, help you along the way. If you're not clear that this document, is sufficient or meets the criteria, we can help you there. But if you don't apply, we don't obviously know then that you even exist.
Yeah,
So
get your name on that list. Yeah, get on the radar, folks.
Yeah.
And yeah, just do it. Come on, let's all learn now. So Wexford, calling all people in Wexford and surrounding areas, and calling all people in Athlone and surrounding areas. If you see this video in your timeline, share it. If you have a sister, mother, brother, niece, nephew, somebody who might be interested in this, please share it and tell them about it. Even just send them the link and tell them to go for it, because we all know someone who we feel, do you know what, they really would have loved to have gone to college and they might love this opportunity. So yeah, so thank you all so much for coming. Thank you for the lovely comments and for participating in our chat. And ladies, thank you so much and have a lovely week.
Yeah, thank you all.
Sam.
Thank you.